Welcome to NeoliberalNation, the variety show that shows you the dualistic nature of neoliberal policy on our education system. I'm your host, Eric DeWald, and we'll be looking today at two classrooms in two very different neighborhoods. One classroom is filled with mostly white, middle, and upper-class children in a lovely suburb of the metropolitan region, and the other is filled with minority children who live in a poverty-stricken area of the metro region. And now, let's have a peek at Mrs. Rafter's elementary classroom at Sunnydale Elementary. And over here, we have Mrs. Teague's class in Gray Clouds Elementary. As we continue observing these two classes, let's see how community resources are allocated to these different schools. One of the big topics in news right now is standardized tests, and as our show winds down, let's end with some insight into how these two schools address the topic. And now we're ready for our trivia portion of the program. Are you ready to answer a few questions about these two classes? I hope you took notes. Now to the questions. Number 1. Which of these two classes is located in a poverty-stricken area of a large urban metropolitan region? Question number 2. Which of these two classes is located in a wealthy suburb of a metropolitan region? Number 3. Which of these two classes is limited to systematic methods of teaching rudimentary skills found on standardized tests? Number 4. Which of these two classes engages in a constructivist and critical learning and problem solving that are largely unaffected by the demands of standardized tests? And the next question, which of these two classes is only learning skills that will prepare them for a limited and low-paying jobs in the service economy? And our final question, which of these classes is preparing its students for critical and higher-order thinking that is necessary to succeed and earn wealth in the global knowledge economy? Great job! Now let's have a round of applause for these two classes who've illustrated the stratification in education and society that are produced by standardized testing and curriculum. And remember, such efficiencies as standardized testing are made possible by our sponsors, Neoliberal Global Solutions, making all aspects of life as efficient and competitive as corporate business. And that's all the time we have for this episode of NeoliberalNation. Tune in next week when we have a singing performance by David Harvey, and we'll be playing Shock Economics Bingo with Naomi Klein. Thank you and have a good night.
In her book, High Stakes Education, Pauline Lippmann describes the intersection of education policy, the economy, race, globalization, and the city. What she finds in the Chicago school system is that these factors are participating in a tug-of-war battle, and the children of the city are suffering from the effects. Through an ethnographic study of 4 elementary schools, she concludes Rover Elementary and Westview Elementary, 2 schools in a couple of the poorest neighborhoods in Chicago, are slave to high-stakes standardized testing policies. These schools are incentivized to mechanically teach basic content for improvement on the state's standardized tests. Because of this, the students are not engaged and often received a minimal standards-based education. The high-stakes education system in Chicago strips neighborhoods of their own cultural values. At Brewer Elementary, the school was required to drop nearly all of its multicultural programming to conform to the city's official educational priorities. Only the children of the wealthier classes in Chicago have the privilege of learning through critical thinking-based curriculum. Lippmann makes it clear that Chicago's policies aim to increase its status as a global city. High-stakes education is now a priority that prepares the city's poor for work in the service economy. Continued economic and social stratification occurs as they give docile service to the better prepared class in the city's global city structure.